Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to be back at the UN to discuss the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals and at the same time represent a developing country like Brazil. My speech focuses on the following proposition. In order to deal with the challenge ahead, it is necessary to leave behind old-fashioned ideas and pre-established models so that we can reach the proposed goals and targets defined last September here at the United Nations. And for that purpose, I would like to highlight that we need to take into account two central issues. First, all the actors involved in this process. Second, the different levels of governance. Regarding the actors, we have to consider the structural inequalities of our international political and economic system. Therefore, in light of Mancur Olson's work from the 70s on public goods and collective actions, it is essential to consider the principle of common but differentiated responsibility. However, we cannot forget that emerging economies play a key role in the transition for sustainable development goals. And as to different levels of governance, we must think beyond the mainstream state-centrism theory of international relations. We know that states have an important role in this process, and as it happens in the Rio Plus 20 conference, as well as in the COP21 in Paris, France. However, there are other forms of governance. For example, the one that is represented by the international organizations through institutional and actions that take place in the supranational and transnational levels. And as well, the one that is related to subnational, municipal, and local levels. In Brazil, for example, civil society and NGOs have been playing a key role. We have the Sustainable Cities Program, which aims to address challenges of SDGs within the municipalities. We also have the Brazilian Council for Sustainable Development, which engages public and private companies to provide funding in order to achieve the proposed goals. Also, it is important to note that in the past days in Brazil, my country, we have been experiencing a serious coup attempt against democracy, rule of law. This kind of behavior needs the attention of the whole international community and has to be thought. Disrespecting democracy, the popular vote, and the Brazilian National Constitution go against the core message defended here at the UN last September. So, in order to achieve a successful discussion, it is imperative to include the role of political will and to review the models of international and national financing, property rights, and the indicators used as proxies for policy evaluation, placing social, economic development, and human well-being ahead of GDP, for example. Let's inspire the world and make history. Thank you.
I thank Mr. Thauan Santos. The hour is late. We have reached now the point where, as I mentioned before, time is our enemy. We have to surrender, but fortunately we have heard the last speaker in this plenary segment. The plenary segment will be now concluded, and I see this occasion to thank you for your patience, also to thank the interpreter, all the conference services for the extra time they are providing.